much, ladies and gentlemen. The previous topic was on Earth observation for sustainable development. But in order for that to take place, we need to be able to sustain our Earth observation programs and make sure that, well, we'll have a sustainable program in place. This has been a big problem for Africa, particularly for my country. I want to tell you a story now give you an overview of our history and our industry. Starting off with this amazing time in which we are living in at the moment as Africans, with the foundation of the Space Agency. So recently, just about a month ago, this was finalized and proclaimed. We now have a Space Agency that looks at environmental resource management, safety, security, innovation and economic growth, and has some thematic areas where Earth observation forms a major component. We are presently very active in the space arena, being a chair in CEOS, and there are these 3 working groups, as you might know, and one of the programmatic plans that we've got is data democracy. We cannot supply data to whoever needs it. Sustainable development is a pipe dream. So this data democracy has been driven forward by the free reception and distribution of CBO's 2B imagery to all of Africa, all African countries. And we form a component of that, receiving the imagery and distributing the valued products that come out of it. And then we have a co-chair in GEO and in GEOS. Within the Space Agency, we've got 2 entities. The one is the Satellite Application Center, where I form a part of, was this tracking, telemetry, and command and Earth observation programs, and then our HOTEC unit, which is previously the military unit, which has testing and integration facilities. Something on the heritage that we've got, and we had launch vehicles in the late 80s, early 90s, like the RSA-03, which could put a 300 kilogram payload into LEO and had its first launch in 1989. We had RSA-04, which was in development before the program closed, and that could have put in a payload of 500 kilograms into LEO. Then there was GreenSat, which was our military satellite, which was then to be commercialized with a spatial resolution of 1.8 meters. That would have been, at the time, the highest commercial satellite with the highest commercial resolution in the market. We missed that opportunity. All engineers that have been working on our previous satellite, GreenSat, a lot of them went to the University of Stellenbosch and started an active space program there with Sunset that was built and launched in 1999 with a resolution of 15 meters at 800 kilometer orbit height. Out of this became the market was realized, and there were international clients approaching the University of Stellenbosch, and they built they got an order to build a satellite for international client, which was launched in 2007, and that's where the company SunSpace came about. We then, this satellite is operating quite well. Attempts were made and the funds secured to build a hyperspectral sensor called MSMI, which had a multispectral component and a panchromatic sensor in it as well. So this was completed in 2004, and should this have been integrated into a decent satellite bus, South Africa could have played a big role in today's hyperspectral expectations and aspirations. My institution, the Satellite Application Center, has been there for over 49 years. We were there tracking Sputnik, and later also providing services to the Apollo missions and the moon landing. We've got a wide range of antennas, the Elbas, X-band, extended C, X-band, KU, DBS, KA, very interesting, of course, today for a lot of the new technologies to come out. Higher data rates that could be achieved. And we've got 6 full motion PTNC antennas and 5 remote sensing systems. Where we download remote sensing imagery and run this at 24/7 operations. The Earth Observation Service Center, the unit which is supposed to provide Earth observation products to SADC, Southern African Development Community. Its functions are to host a digital data repository. It systematically updates its archives, receives a range of satellites, and works on specialized projects as well. We are now working on the South African Earth Observation Strategy, which tries to put down the infrastructure to disseminate all this data to our stakeholders, within government, down to municipality level, or into SADC. We have only recently been able to get services from companies like Infoterra that would allow us to respond within 72 hours after floods or other catastrophic events. Previously, the sensors that were available could just not deliver the data in time. Clouds is a major issue with a lot of the catastrophes that we've got. Our requirements for Earth observation in South Africa, as I've mentioned, education cooperation is quite important. The CEO's Working Group for Education are trying to put down or trying to involve international partners as they sit here in this audience to donate curriculum material so we can design a core curriculum for the country for all remote sensing specialists. We need to establish very, very strong partnerships to be able to ensure that our space agency runs a sustainable business. And very interesting partners for that is especially easier, I think. BLR, private companies like Infoterra, RFI, Spotimage, with whom we've got a very long relationship. They're Brazilians, ISRO, USGS, Festa, Chinese, etc. And then the Southern African Development Community. We need to integrate their data needs and their infrastructure into our supply chains so that they can profit from us. We need to secure our position in image reception. We've got a KA band which we'd like to build on. New satellites will work on that. There's a really big interest in working cooperations with the laser communication terminal. Our country has got certain areas access to good bandwidth with very, very little cloud coverage over the year. So an ideal position for ground-based laser communication terminal. Right, the conclusion. Sorry for taking too long. South Africa has been in the space arena for quite some time, but we could not maintain our activities. The South African Space Agency should consolidate efforts and improve our presence, and there's a lot of scope for cooperation with the South African Space Agency. And I hope that we could discuss some of these possibilities during these next few days. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lück.